Hi, I'm Katie Calkin, Community Health Educator and Exercise Instructor at Piedmont Athens Regional. Today we're going to do a core workout that can be adjusted for all levels. Let me show you the muscles that we're going to work. We're going to get a lift through the pelvic floor, which is like a hammock. We're going to engage the rectus abdominis, which you can see runs all the way from the pubic bone to the ribs and bends our trunk forward. We will engage the transverse abdominis, which is like a corset, and the multifidi, which are like the laces of the corset, and stabilize the spine. We'll do some specific exercises for the internal and external obliques, which work together to rotate the trunk, and we will flip over to our stomachs to work our backs, the erector spinae. All right, so grab a mat or a towel for some padding, put on your favorite music, and let's lower ourselves to our back. Knees bent, feet on the floor. You may want to hang on to the back of your legs as you lower down. When you arrive here, stretch the legs long, bring the arms overhead, feel that stretch through the belly. And then let's make ourselves a banana or a crescent moon, bringing the legs towards the right corner of the mat, and then the arms towards that same side, keeping the elbows heavy towards the ground. Feel that stretch through the side body. And then we'll move through the center. Now we're the crescent moon, limbs going towards the left. And back to center. Arms come around to the mat, knees bend, feet on the floor. And we'll do some pelvic tilts here. Start by tilting the tailbone towards the mat, which you can see brings up the spine, the low back, away from the mat. And then opposite direction, tailbone tilts towards the ceiling, and your low back presses snug into the mat. Tailbone moves towards the mat, low back moves away from the mat. Tailbone tilts towards the ceiling, low back snug against the mat. Do that a couple more times. And then find your neutral, where your low back is snug against the mat and you don't have any of the arch in that lower spine. And then we'll engage the abdominals. So lift the pelvic floor, which is lifting up the hammock like you're stopping the flow from bladder and bowels. And then we'll engage the rectus abdominis. So like you're putting on a really tight pair of jeans, you're pulling in from the pubic bone through the belly button all the way up to the rib cage, holding in tightly. And then we'll engage the transverse abdominis, which is like engaging a corset. So imagine someone's pretending to punch you in the stomach. You would brace for that. That's engaging your transverse abdominis. So try that again. We'll relax everything. Low back's in neutral. Gentle lift of the pelvic floor. Pull the rectus abdominis in. Forceful exhale. Engage the corset of the transverse abdominis, which engages those multifidi, the laces, to stabilize the spine as well. All right, holding this position, breathing with the chest, belly steady. We're going to lift one leg to tabletop, knee above the hip. Other leg comes to tabletop. Lower the right heel, tap on the ground, bring it back up. Left heel taps and comes back up. If you lose that neutral low back, so you feel your lower back trying to arch away from the mat, then make this a shorter range of motion. So your heel does not have to tap the floor. If you lose that tight abdominal contraction, then start again. Go back, position yourself like we did for safe, effective core exercises, and then start again with a smaller range of motion. All right, one more to each side. And then let's bring the right knee in, extend the left leg long, and we'll switch. Switch again. Keep going. Elbows out towards the side, just a gentle drawing of the knee towards the chest. If this isn't good for your low back, or you can't keep your abs pulled tightly in, then go back to knees bent, tapping heel towards the floor. If you want a little more, rise up through the chest here. Maintaining that strong abdominal contraction, engaging the rectus abdominis even more as we have spinal flexion, bending the trunk forward. lifting up through the chest, like there was a string on your chest, someone's pulling towards the ceiling. Little chin tuck can help lengthen the back of the neck, but if you need to, you can put your hands behind your head, just making a little sling to hold the weight of the head. All right, one more like this, and then we'll bring the legs up towards the ceiling. Single leg stretch here, so I'm hanging on behind the leg, lowering the opposite leg. You can make this a big range of motion here, or you can make this little, whatever is good for your low back. So if you start to lose your neutral spine, you start to lose the abdominal contraction, then you want to go back to a smaller range of motion or bent knees. Take a break anytime you need. We're moving through these exercises for people who want to keep a continuous workout, especially if you're new to this or it's been a while. Take a break anytime with the knees into the chest or a long stretch. Make yourself into the crescent moon on each side. All right, one more set. And then hands come behind the head, and we're moving into crisscross or bicycle here. If it's too much to have the legs out, foot on the floor. So try both levels, see what's good for you. Stretch the leg long. This twist is coming from the waist up. So shoulders leading the twist, elbows following along. So we're not yanking on the neck. We're making that strong rise up through the sternum, shoulder twists. Take a break anytime. Go back to bent knees whenever you need to. All right, here we are, 6, 5, last 4 sets, and 3, and 2, last set. Knees into the chest, relax the head down. Turn the head to one side, gentle stretch of the neck, and the other side. Head comes back up, fantastic. Legs stretch long, feet to the floor, palms on the mat. Bring the legs together for a corkscrew. So we bring the legs towards the right, away from us, towards the left, back to where we started, and then in the opposite direction. So you can speed up your circles a little bit. And then experiment with the range of motion that's good for you. So especially as your legs move away from your body towards the bottom of the mat, if you feel a pinch in your low back, you feel any pain, you feel your spine arch away at that lumbar region, that low back region, then you've gone too far. Make your circles smaller. So here our low back is moving on the mat a bit. It's not quite as steady, but we're keeping it neutral rather than letting it arch away. Anytime you lower both legs from the ceiling or you lift both legs from the floor, that's a time when you really want to be careful that your low back stays neutral. So there's lots of core exercises that do that if you progress to more advanced exercises, but always, always be mindful that you're keeping your low back safe. All right, we'll do one more in each direction. We are doing great. And then we'll bend the knees, feet on the floor as wide as the mat. So feet and knees are wide, arms come out to each side, lower the legs towards one side, draw back up through the center, lower towards the other side. So this is our level 1 for windshield wipers, or we can bring our legs to tabletop, glue them together, bring them to one side, squeeze back through the obliques towards the other. Spinal rotation here. So both shoulders stay pressed to the mat. If the opposite shoulder is starting to pop up, you know you've gone too far, make it a smaller range of motion. You can make this a little harder with level 3, extending the top leg as you go over. So that will be the left leg as you go towards the right. Right leg would extend as you go to the left. We'll do several more sets here, so pick the level that's right for you, or If you're needing a break, just bring the knees into the chest, relax the belly, take some longer, deeper breaths. So make this workout good for you. All right, one more to each side. And then knees bent, feet on the floor, palms come back to the mat, and we'll come into a bridge. So we're lifting the spine away from the mat, weights driving through the heels, resting on the shoulder blades. Relax the shoulders, wide collarbones, upper back's helping, but not gripping. Check in with your neck, your face, soften the muscles of your face. And then you can hold this bridge steady, or you can bring one leg to tabletop, bring it down, other leg comes up. So you can have a steady bridge or a marching bridge here. If you want to make it a little harder, cross your hands over your chest. So core muscles are fully engaged, just as if we were doing some crunches. Glutes, legs helping us out. Shoulders relaxed. Knees stay tracking above the ankles. Here we are with 4 and 3 and 2. Last one. And we'll lower down. One-sided crisscross or bicycle now. So right hand comes behind the head. Left arm is out to the side. Let's bring the left knee in, right shoulder in, and let's hold here. So again, shoulder leads this twist. Holding steady, abs engaged. And we'll lower, tap the foot, tap the shoulder blade, come up, and now singles in your own time. This is level 1, or you can extend the leg long. So we're rising up through the sternum, and then shoulder leads the twist. Hips stay squared to the mat. Obliques working. Add that rotation to this crunch. Good. Exhale each time you come up. Remember, if you find yourself belly breathing, find your belly moving as you breathe, and you know you've lost your strong abdominal contraction, so you would go back to lifting the pelvic floor, zipping up that tight pair of jeans, bracing for the punch, and then you would start again. All right, last 4 on this side, and 3, and 2, last 1. All right, let's hold on the other side. So left shoulder comes up, right knee is in. Holding here, fingertips are not yanking on the neck, just creating a gentle little hammock for the weight of the head. All right, tap down, and we'll do singles in our own time. Knee can stay bent, or leg can extend long. Low back's in neutral. Abs are engaged, breathing with the chest. May feel movement in the rib cage, but no movement in the belly. It's like our belly is encased in concrete. Oh, good. Exhale each time as you get tired or can help power you back up. We are doing fantastic. All right, last 4 on this side. Here we are at 3 and 2. Last 1. Foot's on the floor. We'll bring the hands back by our sides. Come into the bridge. Again, relax tension in the upper back. We're resting on the shoulder blades. Relax the face. Let's bring the right leg up. Small pulses here, like you could dot your toe on the ceiling. Left knee stays over the left ankle rather than splaying out. Hips stay even. Weight stays even in the shoulder blades. Too much, put your foot down. Hold a stationary bridge. Want a little more? Arms cross over the chest. This makes you a little more wobbly, so core muscles have to hold you steady. All right, let's switch legs. You can put your hands back down if you'd like. And then here we go. Left toes try to dot the ceiling. Check in with your right knee. It's tracking over the right ankle. Hips are even. Upper back's helping, but relaxed. Face is relaxed. Maybe bring up the corners of your mouth for a little smile for a moment. All right. Left foot returns to the floor. Lower down, knees into the chest. Take a couple longer, deeper breaths. So your belly's moving here. Belly's soft. We'll put our feet on the floor. Engage the abs. Bring one leg up, other leg, and then our fingertips reach towards the ceiling as well. Let's bend our legs into tabletop. Right arm and left leg come down and up. And keep going. Opposite sides, you can stay here, or you can extend your legs long so that you're a longer lever. With your leg being long, there's more of a chance, especially if you're new to core work, that your lower back will want to arch away from the mat. If that happens, go back to bent knees. Trunk is held in cement. Do some breathing with the chest. No movement in the belly. If you lose that contraction, go back to feet on the floor, engage the abs, then begin again. All right, one more set, opposites. And then we'll pause, same side. Right limbs come down, back up. Left limbs come down and back up. Good place to take a break if you need one. We'll do a few more sets, same side. Here we are with 4 and 3 and 2. Last one. Feet stay here. Palms come to the mat. Reverse crunches. Try to touch your feet to the ceiling. Pause. Lower with control. Hips come up. Pause. Lower with control. Light touch with your hands and elbows. Upper body's going to want to grip some to help, but try to make your core do most of this work. Soften the face. Try to pause for a moment. Lower just a little slower than gravity wants you to. Doing great. It's our last exercise on our back. Here we are with 4 and 3 and 2. Last one. Knees into the chest. Relax the belly. A few longer, deeper breaths. Turn the head to one side. Gentle stretch through the neck. Turn the head to the other side. And then we'll roll to the side and we'll come up on hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, engaging the abs, lifting the front body to the back body. And then we'll bring the right leg out. So erector spinae are stabilizing the back. As we extend this limb, right arm comes out like you're shaking someone's hand. Belly pulls tightly in, hips stay square to the mat, rising up out of the left shoulder, so lots of space between the ears and shoulders. And then we'll switch. If this is too much for your wrists, come up on fists so your wrists are straight. Right leg comes out. Muscles in the low back, helping to hold the weight of that limb. Left arm comes out. Front body lifts to meet the back body. And we'll switch. Right arm, left leg, and we'll add some movement, bringing the elbow towards the knee under the body, and then extending long. So here, the head follows along a bit, a little rounding in the upper body. The erector spinae are helping to return us to neutral. So a little spinal flexion, and then we extend to return to neutral. Flexion, extend to neutral. Fantastic. 2 more on this side. And then we'll hold steady, rise up out of that left shoulder, lots of space. And then we'll switch. Left arm, right leg come up. When you feel steady, abs are engaged, elbow to knee, extend back. Here we go, a little flexion. Return to neutral is our extension here. All right, last two on this side. And then all four limbs on the ground, arch your back into an angry cat, tailbone, crown of the head, reaching towards the mat. And then move into old sway back cow, tailbone, crown of the head, reach towards the ceiling, belly sags. Breathing out into the angry cat, breathing in, move to the old sway back cow. A couple more like this, just getting some range of motion in the back. All right, one more of each. And then we're going to lower ourselves to the belly. All right, make a pillow with your hands and then rest your forehead here. And then take a big breath in and feel your belly press against the mat. Take a long breath out. Draw the belly up. So big breath in, you feel your belly press against the mat. Long breath out, you feel the belly draw up as if it could pull away from the mat. So we're going to engage pelvic floor, rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis, and we're going to hold in tightly as if we could draw the belly completely away from the mat. And then let's lift our head and our chest up. Hands are on the mat. And then lower. Let's lift and hold. And then lower. Lift and hold. And now bring the hands to meet the forehead. If this is too much, you feel a pinching, a pain in the low back, or you lose your belly contraction, then keep the hands on the mat. Breathing here, but you don't feel that pressing against the mat of your belly with the inhale like we did in the practice. Lowering down. Abs are engaged, come up and hold. Breathing with the chest, don't feel any breath against the mat. Holding tightly and relax. One more time, come up and hold. So here we're really in hyperextension. We're working the erector spinae, not just returning to neutral, but extending past neutral. If this is not comfortable for your low back, then go back to the bird dogs where you work the erector spinae by returning to neutral and lower down. All right, arms come out to the sides. If you need a break, go back to some cat-cows. Bellies pull tightly, tightly in. Come on up, head, chest, and arms. And then we'll add a scapular squeeze to squeeze the muscles of the upper back here. Arms moved up higher because of that upper back squeeze. Holding tightly, necks in neutral. Long extension of the rest of the spine rather than arching back itself. And then lower. Make sure you have good abdominal contractions. Come on up. Add the squeeze. Again, if you feel any discomfort in the low back, then go back to the bird dog movements. Really, really important to take care of your low back. And we'll lower down. With a tight abdominal contraction, we come up. And we add the shoulder blades squeezing together. Breathing with the chest, but belly's held in cement. And then we'll lower down. Take a break if you need to, or bring your hands by your sides. Bring your upper body and arms up. Then lift the left leg and lower. Lift the right leg and lower. Keep alternating the legs. This adds more work for the low back. So if that's not good, just stick with upper back only. And we'll lower the trunk. Relax for a moment. You can turn your head to one side Let your shoulder blades relax. Make sure you're relaxing the glutes. Feel the movement of your belly against the mat as you breathe. And then we'll bring forehead back to the mat. Engage the abs. Palms are by the side. And let's bring our upper body back up. And then you can alternate legs, or you can bring both legs and hold. Fingertips reaching towards the toes, crown of the head reaching in the opposite direction. Too much, don't do it. So listen to your back. You can alternate legs. You can just do the trunk movement. Hold here for 4, and 3, and 2, and lower down. We're going to do one more hold. So pick whatever movement is good for you. Come on up and hold here. You could be moving the legs, alternating them. You could just be doing the upper body. You could be in bird dog. Whatever is good for your back strengthening today. Here we are with 4, and 3, and 2, and last one. All right, push yourself back up. Hands and knees. Run through some angry cats, old sway back cow. Restoring some movement to the spine. And we are almost done. We're going to knock out 3 planks, and then we're done. So let's start on the side. Either side, elbows right below the shoulder. Kind of collapse in on your shoulder just a little bit to remind yourself what you don't want to feel. Then rise up, nice and strong. Lots of space between ears and shoulders. Neck is in neutral. Come up on the bottom knee. Top leg extended long. Hand can be on the hip. You can stay here, or you can stack your feet. Or if you're barefoot, you can have both feet on the floor, heel toe. I'm going to bring an open palm up to the ceiling to reach. So make this a good challenge for you. Everything's pulled tightly in. No movement of the breath in the belly. It's like you could lift up your side away from the mat. We're defying gravity here. Take a break or thread the needle. So top arm comes under, reaches back up. Top arm comes under, reaches up. Here we are with 4. Totally optional. Whatever's a good challenge for you. Last 2. Last 1. We're going to hold for 10 and 9. Here we are with 8. Super strong. And 6. Last 5. Final 4. And 3. And 2. And lower down. Let's sit up for a moment. Roll the shoulders. A few longer, deeper breaths. And then we'll move to the other side. So remember, elbows right under the shoulder. Lift up strong, lots of space. Bottom knee is down. Hand on the hip. Or extend the feet. Arm can come up. Reaching tall. I like to think of my fingertips as reaching to the ceiling here. Belly's pulled in. Side body's lifted. Defying gravity. Neck is long. Joints are stacked. Shoulders, hips, ankles, unless you have your feet heel toe. All right, take a break or thread the needle. Here we go, just 6 of these. Reaching up long, nice twist. And we reach up. Here we are with 4, and 3, and 2. All right, our final hold for 10, 9, just 8 more, 7, 6. We're halfway. Final 4, and 3, and 2, and relax down. All right, a few shoulder rolls here, longer, deeper breaths. We are going to do front plank, and then we'll do a couple minutes of stretching. We are almost there. We're doing great. All right, forearms are going to be on the mat, elbows under the shoulders, knees on the mat. Start out here. Bellies pull tightly, tightly in. If you want more, curl your toes under, come up on your toes. So either way, you're a long and strong one piece. Scan your body. Neck is reaching long, crown of the head's reaching away from you. Upper back's engaged, collarbones are wide, chest is breathing, belly's pulled tightly in, front body meeting the back body. Going down from the hips to the knees or hips to the ankles. Long line. Here we are with 10. We got it. 9. Last 8. Here's 7 and 6. Halfway. Final 4. There's 3 and 2. And lower down. Roll onto your back. Fantastic. Longer, deeper breaths here. Let's make ourselves nice and long again. Arms overhead. Feet reaching opposite direction. It's fine for the low back to move away from the mat here in this stretch. All right, longer, deeper breaths. And let's turn ourselves into the banana or the crescent moon towards the right again. And this time you can cross left ankle over right if you'd like. Left wrist with your right hand. Just feeling that a little more intensely through the side. If it's too much for your shoulders, you can just bring your arm across your body here. Longer, deeper breaths. Crescent to the left. Right ankle can cross over the left. Left hand can gently tug on the right wrist. And then we'll stretch to the center again. Arms come back around, knees bend. Bring the knees into the chest. And hanging on just below the knees, make circles here. Feeling different parts of your low back, press into the mat and move away. Opposite direction. And then we'll roll to one side, press back up into a seated position. And let's bring left ear towards the left shoulder. Soften your gaze or close your eyes, releasing tension from the neck. Deeper belly breaths here. And then bring your head in front. Chin towards the chest, head is heavy here. Letting go of tension in the back of the neck, shoulders, upper back. And then we'll come to the other side, right ear over right shoulder. And then head comes back up. Arms come out to the side. We'll make sure we're moving air with our whole lungs. So big breath in like you breathe all the way to your toes. Every drop of air out through your mouth like a sigh. Once again, big breath in, arms come up. Long breath out, arms float down. Every drop of air comes out. All right, fantastic workout. You can work your core 2 or 3 times a week. Just make sure you have at least one recovery day in between. And make sure you're taking care of your back and you're thanking these strong core muscles for all that they do for posture, for stability, for balance, and for helping whole body movements all throughout the day. Piedmont Athens Regional wishes you health and wellness. Take good care.